Hola students, welcome to another video. In this video, I will be discussing letter writing. I firstly want to take this opportunity to tell all of you Happy New Year. Feliz Año Nuevo.
Happy New Year. Happy New
Now students, please ensure that you pay special attention to this video and make notes because letter writing is one of the sections on your examination. Do you remember this reading from last year?
Don't you remember?
That's awesome. Continue practicing it. We will continue with it after the examinations. Now let us talk about the graded pieces. Do you know that there are still some students who have not yet completed either of the graded pieces?
That's serious?
Yes, I'm very serious. Therefore, if you have not completed them, please do so before this week ends. As you know, we have done these three topics: preterite tense, imperfect tense, and finally, we were focusing on La Familia. These are the topics that the examination is based on. In the examination, you can also expect situations, multiple choice, reading comprehension, as well as a letter writing. Now, para esta clase, for today's class, we're going to be focusing on the letter writing section of the examination. Now, in the examination, you will be presented with an outline looking like this one. So it says, using the outline as a guide, write in Spanish a letter of no more than 130 to 150 words. Please nobody have any heart attack or headache when they see the amount of words. You can write that amount, even more. And it continues to say that you should use a tense or tense is appropriate to the topic. So you'll get a scenario looking like this. This one says that your new Q1 pen pal would like to spend the Christmas holidays with you in Jamaica, but he or she would like to know more about your family. Write a letter to your Spanish-speaking friend in which you include general description of the family members in your family, what you think about the family members, and activities that you do with your family. So this is what the outline will typically look like. So we're going to be completing this sample together. So please go to a blank page in your book, leave it blank, and we're going to go through the letter step by step. So these are the different parts of the letter: the address and the date, the greeting, the body, the closing, and the signature. So lugar y fecha, el saludo, el cuerpo, la despedida, and la firma. So please make note of them. Let's now focus on each part of the letter. First up is the address and the date. Now, you know how usually when you'd be writing your address and date, when you're writing a letter for English language, you would probably, let's say if you live in Duncan's, you'd probably put Duncan's, then in another line Duncan's P.O., then you would put in another line Trelawney. Well, and then in the next line you'd put the date. In Spanish, this is not how it should be done. In Spanish, the address and the date should be in the same line, one single line. So instead of writing out Duncan's P.O. and then Trelawney, just put the parish, or you can put the capital, or just the town by itself. So let us say, for example, you live in Falmouth, or let's say you live in Martha Brae. You don't have to put Falmouth, then Martha Brae. You can just put Falmouth, then you put a comma. Or you can put Martha Brae, then you put a comma. Or you can just put the parish, Trelawney, then you put a comma. So just put the parish, then you put a comma, and then you put the date. How is the date written? Just as how you'd head up your books when you're heading up your book for class. So I have an example there on the screen. So for example, the 14th of December 2020, that is how it would be written. So this is how the address and the date should look in your books at the top right hand corner like this. Now let's talk about El Saluda the Greeting. Now in English this is the dear Pam, dear Bobby, dear whoever. In Spanish there is querido or querida. We use querido if we're writing the letter to a male, and you use querida if you're writing the letter to a female. So please ensure that the one with the O, you're writing the letter to a boy, and the one with the A, you use that one if you're writing the letter to a female. So let's pretend that we're writing this letter to Pedro. What would we use? Would you use querido or querida? Muy bien. We would use querido because Pedro is a boy. So this is how our letter would look so far when we have added our greeting. So now let us move on to the body of the letter. Now it doesn't matter what you get the letter to write about. Whenever you're writing the letter in Spanish, begin with any of these two phrases. So you can either say, Hola, ¿cómo estás? Espero que estés bien. Or you can use Hola, ¿qué tal? Espero que todo vaya bien contigo. So use any one out of these two to start off your letter. Now after you do that, you're going to continue by telling the person why is it that you're writing the letter, and to do that you can use any of the phrases below. Estoy escribiendo para decirte sobre, or you can simply say te escribo para decirte, and then you put whatever it is that you're writing the letter about. So the choice is yours, so pick the two that you are more comfortable with using. So let us continue with our letter. So we're going to select one of the phrases below. Alright, so remember, start off with any of these two phrases after you put dear Pam, dear Roy, whoever. So pick any one of these to start off your letter. So that's what we are about to do. So we have selected Hola, ¿cómo estás? Espero que estés bien. So this is how it would look. And then remember now the letter should be about family. So what would we write on the line?
A few moments later.
Yes, la familia. Remember again, you can select any out of these two that you are comfortable with using. So let us add this to our letter as well. So notice we have te escribo para decirte sobre mi familia. Now, por favor, escuchen bien, estudiantes. Listen carefully. Now, to complete the body of the letter, guess what? We must add the cues from the outline. So let us look on the cues another time. And what do I mean by the cues? That's the scenario that you got, along with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the different things that you should include in the letter. So those things that are numbered from 1 to 5 or 1 to 6, whatever the amount, that's what you are going to use to complete the body of the letter. So let us look back on the cues. Now, what I want for you to do during the examination, please, por favor, do not waste time writing the letter first in pencil and then you're rewriting it. You see where you have the cues? I want for you to just jot down. Make little jottings of the pointers or different points that you want to use within the letter. So when you are ready now to write the letter, you will be fine. And also, por favor, please ensure that you begin each cue in a different paragraph. To differentiate or to show the paragraph, you can skip a line or you can indent at the margin. So if you look here on the screen, you'll notice that I have my little jottings in purple. So your jottings, of course, would be in pencil. Right, so I have my little jottings or my little notes on how I want to really address or to respond to each of the cues in the letter. So now I have it here. Now if you look carefully, you'll realize that I have responses to each of the cues up there in a different paragraph. So the description of the family members, description of family, the activities, etc. I have all of them in a separate paragraph. Now when you're finished with the body of the letter, all we're going to do now is that we're going to add our closure. Now, these are 10 closures, very simple, but you can pick the ones that you're comfortable with. I suggest sticking to number 1, su amigo or su amiga, or the one that says con amor, and you can use sinceramente for the more formal letters. So let us add it to our letter. Remember that you should be writing the letter as we go along. So notice we have added su amigo, and I have the comma. So it's usually to the left-hand side in line with the greeting below the body of the letter, and it is followed by a comma. Now finally we have firma, and this is the name of the person who wrote the letter, and this comes directly below the closing. So let's say Bob wrote the letter, so we would write Bob. So this is what we would have here. Notice we have su amigo Bob. So let's take a look on the complete thing. So this is how the entire letter looks. Now I don't want anyone to think that the letter writing is hard or it is difficult. It is not. Basically, it's the same paragraphs that you have been writing for us. La única diferencia, the only difference is that now you're putting in the address and the date and the greeting and the closure. We have come to the end of our video. I hope that you have been making notes, and I want for you to practice one of these letters for yourself. Alright, adios.
Bye bye.